everybody, avanaintuitive here with our weekly predictions for July 31st, 2024, and of course a 3-card pick. As usual, I am using the Radiant Rider Waite tarot deck. For clarifying cards, I'm using the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. Love the artwork on this deck. And then for our 3-card pick, I'm doing the Moonology Oracle Cards by Yasmin Boland. So let's get started. The first question I have, and I got a couple of questions that are kind of interesting. Are our illnesses written into our soul contract? So let's think, the illnesses that we have, is this written into our soul contract? Now, before I get started, I'm shuffling the deck. I want to remind everyone, this is for entertainment purposes only. Please like, share, and subscribe, as it really helps the channel. And, you know, we'll just get a move on here with some of these answers. Whoa, I had 2 cards flip out. And here we go. Okay. I'm going to use those 2 cards. And then, okay, I like the cards that I got. And then, of course, I always like the cards I get, right? When have you ever said to, heard me say, oh, that doesn't make sense or whatever? But, well, maybe one time some cards didn't make sense, as I recall. But for the most part, I always like the cards I get. And let's get a clarifying card for this also, for this question. So, are our illnesses written into our soul contract? Interesting. Oh, I love it. Okay. So the first card that I get is, knowing what to cut out and what to keep. And my first answer is, are they written into our soul contract? Yes. Okay. That's how I immediately got a yes. And we look at, as we're setting up our soul contract, what are we putting in? What are we keeping out? Right. And then part of that question too is, if they are, do we have control over them by eating healthy and staying away from certain things in food or whatever? So, Are they written into our soul contract? Yes, I really believe they are. And this is almost like, again, us contemplating our soul contract. What are we going to nurture? What are we going to keep out? What are we going to trim off? I mean, so we have like, before we come down here, the answer that resonates with me is that we have like this time to choose, what we're going to experience. Then I got the 5 of Swords. The 5 of Swords, this is kind of, to me, representing our illnesses, right? Because sometimes they can really, really, really cut through us. I mean, really add, like where they're winning and we're walking away almost like, oh my gosh, I have this illness, I have this or that, whatever. It can be chronic. It can be something that's very just like maybe a car accident, which happened very quickly, but causes like a lot of issues. So, we have this almost like a competition for our energy and for our, where we decide to focus on, right? Like it takes our time and our energy to focus on when we are sick, or focus on maybe what, like a genetic illness we may have or something like that. So it takes our time, and it's something that we're fighting, right? That it's a really strong competition. But I also got the 6 of Pentacles, which is a balance card, right? Where we are looking to help people who need some help. And if we need some help, people are there to help us. And I look at that, like I look at things as a full toolbox, right? Whether you're doing like Western medicine, where it's like you go to the doctor, you get your pharmacy, your pharmaceuticals, your prescriptions, you do wellness, and also like the Eastern medicine, where you meditate, Reiki energy, things like that. So I always look at it as having a full toolbox of tools that I can use. Not everybody believes that, no worries. But I just try to use everything that's available, because I think, that helps to also provide the balance. But here it is, almost like these illnesses can come in, or you bring them in to unbalance you, okay, so that we are feeling this unbalance. So we are now striving to be balanced. The last card that I got here is this 3 of Wands card. I did get a clarifying card too. This 3 of Wands card, look at this, like learning from it. Sending our illness love is what I just heard. And I have found that, and that has been like a unique concept for me, because when I first heard, I actually read this in a book, and I can't remember the book, unfortunately, but it was people who are basically have been diagnosed with something that they were going to pass away from, and they changed their diet, they changed their living practices, they really made radical change in their life. And and it worked for them, and I don't want to say they were cured, But in some cases they were cured, and in other cases they really did have a high level of improvement. That's not for everybody, because you know what? It does depend on what your soul contract says, because, you know, what do you learn from it? What do other people learn from it, right? Because when you go through an illness, it's not just you learning from it, it's doctors learning from it, your family, your friends. It really affects, it can affect a lot of people. But this is almost like this like idea of sending it love, and looking at it from a positive perspective on, you know, watching your ships come in. Like, what did I learn? What am I learning from this? You know, what am I learning from this illness? What am I learning on how to change my habits or even my beliefs about some things so that I can move forward? You know, maybe not cured, but maybe with less pain, or maybe just some more good days every month. So whatever that takes. And then the last card that I got is kind of interesting, because this clarifying card I got is the 5 of Cups. And as you see, these cups, this really kind of is a cup of like grief and sorrow, because these cups are turned over, and not so much in this case, but it looks like, you know, she has these other 2 cups that are actually providing her with sustenance. So taking, you know, the lesson that I'm kind of learning from this card is, yes, cups have fallen over, right? You don't feel 100%, you know, you have some issues with your health in whatever way, but making sure you still provide gratitude for what you have, for the help that you're getting, or the help that you could be getting, and really turning that focus. It's kind of like a lesson for me to learn, like to turn my focus away from what I'm looking at as maybe something detrimental or something that I'm not really happy to have, but saying, how does this really work for me? Why do I have this? And how can I, what level of positivity can I get out of it? So anyway, are they written in our soul contract? I believe that they are. That's what resonates with me. And also because not only do we learn lessons from it, okay, from the illnesses that we may have, but also many others learn from it too. So, okay, next question I have. Can psychics really predict the future, right? Can psychics really tap into your future? So let's see. I like this question because can psychics really tap into your future, or tap into our future? Can psychics really tap into our future? Okay, I like those cards. Very interesting. The first card that I get is this Judgment card. And that's kind of a neat card to get. This Judgment card showing kind of like into the future, pulling, like, you know, it does say judgment, but pulling that energy up and out, you know, of people, and like kind of being able to read that. I think that not only, the way I look at it is, I mean, anyone can read the future. I mean, we are all capable of that, because we are all one. We all have all this energy, you know, that's flowing, and we all are just living in the moment. That's all we have, is this right now. And everything is happening, past, present, and future. It's all happening at one moment. That's all the only place it can happen. And I do believe that we are looking at ourselves and our situations and things we're looking at ourselves from different perspectives. Everything's at the same moment, but we're looking at ourselves to learn something from a different perspective. So saying that, can psychics really tap into someone's future? It's really just tapping into the energy that's already there. And not only do I believe that psychics can do it, but I think anyone can. I think that anyone for themselves, we all have that skill of intuition, and it's all within, like, to me, it's all within our DNA. It's all within our heart. We all tap into our Akashic records as we need to, and we can see what's there. What do we think are some of the options going forward? And also, I think we can change things because we have free will. So we can actually change that, you know, change the outcome. Because in a way, everything's already happened, but in a way it hasn't. And, you know, you can change and take different steps. So the first card being this Judgment card, kind of like pulling the information out. Then I got the 6 of Cups card, which is really a nice emotional card, emotional stability, feeling safe, right? If you know your future, and you know that you can tap into it for yourself, I think that provides such a beautiful, to me, like a safety net, because I am, right? I am who I am, and I know best what makes me feel safe in this world. I know best what makes me feel like what I enjoyed for this beautiful level of safety, right? To move forward. So I look into myself as to, what do I know about myself? How do I feel about myself, right? And saying, and other people, of course, can look into their futures and to other people's too, because it's all, to me, like one energy. And then the next card that I get is this Hermit card. And this is kind of saying to me, like, everybody is almost like on their own, okay? But you have all this energy here. You have this source light guiding you. And that is, and some people can really just see that very clearly. They're born with it or they develop it. But I believe we can all develop the skill of being able to look into our futures and also reconcile our futures with our past, and even how things are going in the present and how things are happening in the future can actually alter our past and make it like a softer, experience for some of us who maybe haven't had such a great past. So yes, moving forward, yes, they can tap into the energy. We can all tap it, but we can all tap into the energy because it's all happening right now. But for some of us, it's a matter of training and skill and practicing. And then the last card that I got, the clarifying card, I got this Knight of Pentacles card, which is just a beautiful card to me because it's not a lot of movement. Although there's movement in this card, it usually means like, slow moving, okay? But I get the feeling like this energy, this is like all the seeds that can be planted in this field, right? This field here can be planted with all these different ideas, all these different seeds, all these different future options, so that as we move forward in our day-to-day lives, we can certainly plant different seeds and have different outcomes that we desire much more than some of the than sometimes what we currently think we have, especially if we feel like if we feel a little bit grim about things. I believe that we can definitely change and that people can see that and tap into it, but I believe we all can tap into it. So next question, do our dreams have any significance? Do our dreams have any significance? And it's funny because I almost never remember my dreams. And when I do, it's like, what? That like made no sense. But let me see what the cards say. So do our dreams have any significance? Of course, yes. I mean, I believe that to be the case. Oh, I love these cards. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me get a clarifying card. I don't know if you hear my cat is meowing back there, but I hear her and she's just fine. So if you hear her, she sounds like she's moaning and groaning, but that's just what she does. So do our dreams have any significance? Funny, I should get this card because here's this guy. I feel like this is the dream world in this particular question. He's sitting here, he's daydreaming on his, whatever, but you have this dream world out here with its own cup and its own energy and being offered to you, right? So that you can learn more about yourself, learn more about, we can learn more about our essence and who we are. Funny we get the Four of Cups because we go into the Knight of Cups. This is almost to me like dream time, offering you the answers that you need in, like it's coming forward, being in the ethers and going, into your higher self and crossing back over in, as we sleep, crossing over onto the other side and having all these answers again being offered to us, just as this cup is here. It's out there. Here we go. We're getting a little bit closer, I think, to accessing it. Page of Pentacles, really us grasping that information, right? And grasping what the image means to us. This gentleman isn't necessarily holding a pentacle, a gold coin, but he is holding ideas, youth, money, health, and wealth. So what this pentacle is not just a pentacle, but it has an image. It's an image that means so many other things, right? So we get images in our dreams, and what does it mean when you think about it? What does it mean in your life, in our lives, to get a certain image? In fact, let me do my last card here. And the last card I get is again cups, okay, temperance with, this alchemy, being able to get the information from our dreams and really think about those images and think about, what resonates with you, right? To turn like a dream into the answers that you need. And this is a constant process. And I'm even hearing daydreaming, right? Sometimes you let your mind wander, you're driving or whatever. don't, you know, lose the significance of that, because we are really getting a lot of good energy and a lot of good information that leads us to our, you know, this is like the answer, right? This is like where we're evolving to, and having this path literally to take us there. So do they have significance? I believe they truly have significance. Oh, and then, yeah. Oh, here we go. I was going to say, and then my clarifying card, again, Cups, right? Queen of Cups, receiving that information and allowing it to help us to remain emotionally stable and get the information we need. And it's almost like she's getting, like, from her higher self, the answers, like, you know, she's sitting there getting the answers that she needs. So yes, I believe our dreams are quite significant. I will tell you, and I'm not going to tell you the name I got, but I very rarely remember my dreams. And about a week ago, I woke up, I could see in my dream a name, like a last name that I'm absolutely positively not familiar with. I woke up, I'm like, I have to remember that name. I immediately wrote it down. I did write it down. And I'm like, you know, wondering if it has any significance. I'm wondering if I meet somebody with this last name. And again, I'm not going to say what it is, but I have never had such a clear, like name or words put in front of me. So we'll see, right? Who knows? Obviously, if I meet somebody with that name, you know, like, I'm going to flip and be like, oh my gosh, this person's totally significant in my life. So we'll see. It might just be something I need to learn, right? Are they significant or are they not, right? So, all right. The last question that I have is, does everyone complete everything in their soul contract? Does everyone complete everything in their soul contract? And then, of course, the second part is what happens if they don't. But, okay, let me see what I get here. Let me shuffle the cards. Does everyone complete everything in their soul contract? One more card. I'm just going to pick a clarifying card here. Okay, first card I get, Five of Swords. Five of Swords is completing your soul contract. Does it sometimes feel like a battle? The answer I get is yes, we do complete, maybe not in this lifetime, okay? It's not a rush to complete your soul contract, okay? Whatever that may include. But do we feel like, oh, it's a battle? Yes, I think I feel like sometimes it's a battle. Like, am I on the right path? Am I completing everything? You can't help but complete everything, especially whatever you're supposed to do down here at this time, you will complete. And if something doesn't get done, guess what? Many more lifetimes to complete it. We are energy. Energy cannot be destroyed. It cannot be created. We are here, and you know you embody your personality. You know you embody this energy. So it's going to be around forever. So I'm going to be around forever in some form or another, but feeling a little bit like, oh my goodness, feeling like, you know, I have to get things done. And I don't believe that we do, although I know that's what we feel like. The Lover's card here comes in, this beautiful angel, you know, saying yes, right? Continuing to work towards what our soul contract entails and what we've just, you know, can't come down to fulfill. And then this 10 of Cups card really saying yes, really completing it and not even worrying if we don't, okay? If we don't complete everything, it just goes on. I mean, it just moves on to the next lifetime. There's no rush. And, you know, it's funny. Well, let me finish this very quickly. Because then I did get this 8 of Pentacles card too as a clarifying card. And just, again, moving forward, everything's fine. Lots of options, lots of ways to go. But you know what? We all end up in the light. Doesn't matter how long it takes, doesn't matter, you know, whatever. In fact, now I can't remember what I was going to say, so I apologize about that. But something I know about my soul contract or whatever. But again, forgetting whatever I was going to say, there still is, as far as I'm concerned, there's no rush. You won't get it all done, but it never ends, right? So don't worry if you don't get something done this lifetime. Plenty of lifetimes to go. And and that's what I was going to say. I also don't believe, like, I think some people like there's a soul contract, like a soul review. I believe that there is a review, but I don't think it's like the way I'm realizing it, or kind of like the insight that I got on it. And this is really just for me, but I will share it with you. Is it's just like, oh yeah, like, yeah, this happened. I know why it happened now. And it's almost just like, yeah, you were wondering why certain things happened or why certain things didn't happen. And then you get the full story and you say, okay, yeah, I get it. Somebody else's, life path interfered or crossed mine or whatever, and they needed to learn a lesson. My lesson can wait. I don't know. I at first, when I first heard there's like a soul review, I got really like, oh my gosh, but I kind of now have a feeling that it's just like, yeah, that's really cool. No worries. And you just move on. And I think you have it, because I think it's nice to stop and take a look and see what, where we're at with things. But again, I don't think it's I thought it would be more, just more something to like, to worry about, or something like a little bit more harsh. But I don't now believe that at all. I think it's just something matter of fact. And you're like, now I know why. Now I know why people reacted that way to me, and I reacted that way to them. And now I see it, like, I see it now. So that being said, let's get ready and do our 3-card pool. Do our 3-card, pick a card, see what we get. I'm shuffling these Moonology Oracle cards. All right. Card 1, card 2, card 3. Think about which card resonates with you and don't think too hard. All right, my friends, if you picked card 1, I love it. Full moon in Virgo, and it says, you are good enough. I love it. You are good enough. If you pick this card, just know that you are good enough, and you are everything. You are all there. There's nothing, you're not missing anything. You're perfect. Not only are you good enough, but you're perfect, right? So that's card 1. Card 2, oh, that was the full moon in Virgo. Then we got the new moon in Virgo. A time to give rather than take. So if you got this card, you might be thinking about whatever you're thinking about, but it just says, you know what? It's a time to give rather than take. If it resonates, fine. If it doesn't, that's fine too. And if you got pick card 3, you got the balsamic moon. And I love this. It says a time for healing. So it may be time to just step back, regroup, listen to your heart, take a little time off. So that's card 3. All right, my friends, you know what I do every week. Mondays, 3-card, pick a card. Tuesdays, Supergirl. Wednesdays, predictions with 3-card, pick a card, which is today. Tomorrow is healing, 3-card, pick a card. And Friday is weekend reading with 3-card, pick a card. So there you go. I post on my community tab where I'll be. avanaintuitive.com. Please check out my website. You can book a reading. I do email readings, I do tarot card readings, and I do Akashic record readings. So there you go, my friends. I will see you soon. Namaste.